a road racer and a supporter of drifting. For a time, we were working with Kalihi Raceway Park to try and get something going. Unfortunately, we had a lot of difficulties with our landlord. A lot of stuff that's, probably going to come out here real soon in a nice big video that I'm doing. How many people here drag race? Raise your hands. How many people drift? Yeah, yeah. You can't do anything the other way right now. How about road racers? You like road racers? SCCA? Okay. You guys, pretty much by the turnout here, obviously, people and the politicians themselves need to take us seriously. Okay? We have been working a long time, whether it's me and my group or somebody else in their group. There have been a lot of attempts to try and get a racetrack here. One of the things that we're trying to get across to the politicians, and who's Mufi Hanneman's people? Are they? Okay. What's your name, sir?
Well, I'm Jim, and I work for him.
Yeah.
I told these guys already. I work for him, and working with him, I know his word is gold.
Okay.
And he's a
politician. You can't keep saying that.
I know.
Okay.
I hear you, but to me, he was my boss. When I ran as director of emergency services.
Let me just say one thing, okay? We did. I honestly, Mufi, I'm a racer, all right? I've been a racer for a long time, and I've worked really hard. I've spent thousands of my own dollars. Literally, my wife hates racing because of how much money I've spent. Just trying to get the word out there to politicians like you, Mufi, that we need a racetrack. And if you can see by all the people that are here right now, it's serious business. And no politician is taking us serious. I'm almost in tears right now because we have tried so hard to get it across to politicians that we want a racetrack.
Yeah.
How many people here want a racetrack? Just say it right now. So what we want is we want a politician to take us seriously, to listen to our problems, listen to what we want, as a community, not just, just people on the street, doing stuff in cars. We are a community, a family of people that enjoy a form, our forms, of being together, I mean, with racing. I mean, it's more than just racing. It's family, it's community, it's, meeting Joe Blow and turning him into a friend. We're wrenching on our cars and getting out there and trying to improve our own selves, in the company of others. So, I talked to Mufi. We had a sit-down meeting with him. And I've talked to politicians a lot. I've lobbied a lot, and I've talked to Iona, and I just did not get the answer that I wanted from him. Maybe it's because of the group that I'm with or whatever, I don't know. But the guy was wishy-washy. He really was, man. And like somebody said, politicians are politicians, no offense, Mufi. And that's how a lot of people feel because we've been working really hard for that. So, but I felt when he explained, his outlook on it, that, that maybe this is the way to go. All right? I know everybody hates politics, but the thing is, in Hawaii, from what I've seen, since working on this stuff since 2004, 2005, meeting all these guys, you have to play with politics. You do. They're the people that are going to get you through, unfortunately. That's the way it works. And I'm not trying to make politics sound bad. That's just the way it works. You gotta have permits, all that good stuff. So I think, personally, my own opinion right now, and I'm not trying to win anybody over, I'm just telling you, the guy has said that he's gonna give it a shot. He's here to listen to you. So ask him what you want. Tell him what you want and make it known. And not just to Mufi, but I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna put it on the internet. I'm gonna show everybody that's here right now. And we're going to make it known how many people want this to happen. Okay? So, thanks for coming, guys. Really appreciate it.
All right, here we go. So, I'd like to introduce to you Mufi Hanneman and Les Chang. Both gentlemen, I worked for Mufi when I was at the city. Les Chang and I worked together. He was the director of parks, former Air Force colonel. And we've had a lot of talks, and he's had a lot of talks with a lot of different people, and I hand over the mic to him.
Thanks, Jim. Hello, my folks. Good evening, everyone. Aloha. I want to say kalamai, kalamai, kalamai. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. As you know, we are in the part of this campaign where we're trying to be everywhere. And people running for office always make the mistake of trying to schedule too much. But I had to make this at 8 o'clock this evening because we had made a prior commitment to be out on the Waianae Coast for a little thing that we had there. So I appreciate you hanging around and giving me an opportunity to go with you one-on-one. Let me talk a little bit up front, okay, just a little bit, and I'm sure you have hundreds of questions. Because as I understand it from Jen, from Mike, the Graces, and some other folks who are really into racing, that you've had this said to you before by politicians, and they didn't keep their word. And that's why you remained a little skeptical when you were told or you were advised that, hey, maybe there's a different shot with Mufi. So let me give you 2 or 3 things I want to say up front and we'll open it up. With me, what you see is what you get. Okay? I'm very cognizant of the fact that you shouldn't make promises you can't keep. That's how I was raised in this beautiful community of Kalihi. And I've always been that way. That's been my strength and that's been my weakness. Because I don't go along to get along and play conventional rules by the game in terms of this is what you need to say to get elected. This is what you need to do to get elected. I go by what the people want. I want to be real clear on that. So allow me just to say this much about rail. The only reason why I did rail is I heard overwhelmingly from Leeward Oahu, Central Oahu, where I live, that people were tired of traffic gridlock 7 days a week. People were tired of higher gasoline prices. People were tired of seeing East Honolulu getting a wider Kalanianaole highway so they could come in, or H3 being built to benefit Windward Oahu. What about us? So this is why I decided to push it as your mayor. Because at that time, Mayor Lingo said she wanted to support it again. At that time, I was told by federal officials in Washington, D.C., we only will help Hawaii again if you guys are sure you're not going to back out like you guys did last time. So I was really the lone wolf in the wilderness when I championed it again because Mayor Fossey, as great as he was, could never make it happen. He was a good mayor. He was a great mayor. So I took it upon myself, working collaboratively, talking story, and in fact, it was put to a vote. You folks who were against it in 2008, it was on the ballot. And this is what I said. As much as I want rail to happen, if you vote no, it's power. Makidai did. I will end the project and return every dollar back to the state because the people have spoken. Okay, second thing, in this campaign, I'm saying, and the only one that said it loudly and clearly, I want to bring back the inter-island ferry service. Okay? When I first said that, this is what David Ige said. I want to study the issue. This is what Duke Iona said. No comment. You know what they're saying now? They also want to do the inter-island ferry service. I said it first, and I'm committed to it because I said a couple of things. You got to learn what was wrong about it when they did it the first time. They didn't do the environmental impact study. That's why the courts went, cut its line. I said, we're going to do that. And I'm going to do it the same way we did rail. If I have to go before this kind of meetings, sometimes they're friendly, sometimes they're hostile, it doesn't matter. You got to put yourself out. And the other thing I said I was going to do is have all the other county mayors join with me to do it. Because 5 minds are better than 1. Look at sports. No matter how great Michael Jordan was, LeBron James. LeBron James, he lost to my favorite basketball team, the San Antonio Spurs. Sorry, anybody don't like the Spurs. But it was a team effort. More than one person. And that's why that was done. I say that to all of you because what I'm hearing is that there's a lot of support in the community for this. Yeah, I'm told as many as 5,000 people, minimum, may be backing this just on Oahu. And I know when I go to the neighbor islands, I'm hearing that too. So I feel if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a good leader, you got to listen to the people. And you are telling me loud and clear by what I see tonight, what I read on the blogs, what I see online, that you want this. That's point number one. Point number two of why I would support this. I love sports. I love recreation. You know, what makes a great place, what makes a great environment to live in is when you have good sports recreation programs. And to me, this has so many benefits across the board. I'm not a racer, far from it. Okay, you'd hate to see me get behind the wheel. But be that as it may, I know it's something that will help our youth. It will help make sure that some of the stuff that's going on illegally, people racing on the roads as opposed to doing it within the confines of a racetrack and the like, you know, it just makes a lot of sense. Now, what's my track record in sports? You're looking at the individual that saved the Pro Bowl on several occasions. Okay? You heard what this last governor said to the NFL, right? Take your cheeseburger-eating millionaires out of this town. We can make more money on doing something else than having the Pro Bowl here. You're never going to hear me say that kind of stuff. But sports is important. It's important from an economic point of view. It's important for raising our spirits. When the UH Wahine volleyball team does well, when UH football team does well, come on, Warriors, you guys win a game. Once in a while. But we all feel good about it. And I think this will be a good way with someone who has had an experience with dealing with private business, with the National Football League, to do things that we need to do here. Okay? Now the third thing is that this is going to take a public-private partnership. Okay? I cannot promote this project by saying we're going to build it with tax dollars. Okay? I can guarantee it's going to get shut down. Okay? What I want to say is this. The way the state can help, perhaps, is with the land. Okay? Kalihi law. Now, if you folks have been following what I was saying in the campaign, there's an entity called the Hawaii Community Development Authority. Anybody familiar with that? It's called HCDA.
Right here.
Okay. HCDA is the authority over Kaka'ako. You know why we're having all those luxurious high-rises that nobody can pay for? That's the authority, the state authority, that's in charge of Kaka'ako. And I said in this campaign, only one person said, because I don't like what's happening there, I say give it back to the city to control. Let the city plan and permit Kaka'ako. If you do that, then they would be able to have more affordable housing because they would have to go out under the city standards. And you're not going to have a board appointed by the governor making those decisions. You're going to have an elected body. The other area that HCDA is in charge of is Kalihi law. So I'm saying take it out of Kaka'ako, except for the infrastructure that it needs to fund, except perhaps maybe for the help with the harbor areas of Kaka'ako, but concentrate on Kalihi law. Why do I want to concentrate on Kalihi law? Because this is the entity that I want to talk with if I become governor to say, I want to set aside land to have a racetrack from the state. The second part of the equation is then we need to find a private investor or two to help build and operate. But I think it'll be a mistake if I say I want the state to put up the land, I want the state to build it, and I want the state to operate. Because well, you know what they're going to say? Maybe even some of you in this room will say, what about our schools? Where the money going to come from? No more air conditioning in the school. I'm tired of my kids going to school without air conditioning. And they're going to use that. Oh, the reason why Governor Hanneman, if he's governor, is going to do, can't do the air conditioning because all the money now is going to go to this racetrack. So I want to be real clear. When I say I support it, I also want to help you, and I want you to help me find some investors to build this racetrack. Now, the fairest way they always do it is they put it out for bid. Okay, you put it out for bid, and then we review the bid that come in. Can they fit the specs, what have you, blah, 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 blah. But that's the process that I want to follow through on. Okay, A, I'm for it. B, this is the way I think we should do it. State land in Kalihi law. However, I'm also open if you folks have ideas of where it may be in other parts of the state or on Oahu, I should say, more precisely, that we could do this. And C, this thing is called public-private partnership. Nobody running for governor understands that or has done that in the past. Because you know what? Every time I go into a debate or forum and I put out a good idea, the next time I show up, they all parrot what I'm saying. So they're all talking now public-private partnership. They never used to talk like that before. Okay? Our hospitals, the state hospitals are in trouble. I'm saying we need to do public-private partnership. Get somebody like Queens, Hawaii Pacific, partner with the state to save hospitals, especially on the neighbor islands that are in danger of folding. So that's what it's going to take, a public-private partnership. And I have a very strong business background. That's been my kuleana. And that's why I believe you give me the arguments, you tell me how I can convince an investor, and then it's my job to use my rubber lips to get out there and go out and sell it and say, I want you to do this in Hawaii. Now here's the other part of it. This is a great group tonight. But if we're going to do this, we also have to make sure that the non-racing community will support this. So I got to be frank with you. I said this once and I put it on the record. You don't believe me, go and see the tape of the debate that was done by the West Oahu Economic Development Association. It was done at West Oahu campus over there in Kapolei. And I put it on the record. I said it. And I want to see a racetrack in Kalailo. Okay, I put it out there already. There are some residents from the west side came up to me afterwards and said, we don't want a racetrack on this side of the island. I said, why not? I said, I'm hearing from people who live, they want, oh, no, we don't want it. I said, well, I said it. Sorry, I said it. And once I say something publicly, I never go back on my word. If I go back on my word, I'm going to come out and say, I've had second thoughts. I don't agree. So I have not said that. So that's what I'm going to ask of you. Okay, you need to help me to do that. To convince people that are outside of the island that are going to be most affected by this, or folks in general, that this is a good program for a governor to back, and this is a project whose time has come. Okay, I've talked enough. Now it's your turn. I don't know how we're going to do these questions here, Jim, but whatever, fire away. Go ahead.
I've been quiet over here, but I've been doing this for a long time.
Can you tell me your name and
my name is Alfred Cornelio. It's the first time I ever came out to a meeting, any meeting. But I can't understand, we can put millions in a rail, millions in Kakako, which will look like Hong Kong, but we can't find a quarter mile or a track here in Hawaii. See, the part is, if we build a track here, doesn't all the money stay here? Like when these guys go for fix their cars, they buy their turbos, their blowers, or parts, they go to the performance center. Then they put their gas here. Like that gentleman said, he puts $2,000, right? $2,000. He goes to the outer islands just to race. $2,000. That $2,000 can stay here. We can generate money here. What I miss about this whole thing is I used to live at the racetrack. I used to watch Harrison Okabe, Butch General Lau, Anthony General Lau, all this. And now I want to do it with my son, but we can't. We don't have a racetrack here. You know, because I learned how to wrench cars through my dad. And what happened is we used to go to the racetrack every weekend. That's how we spent time. We bonded that way. When I used to blow the motor, he used to build the motor himself. But then that's how you can spend family time. There was a junior dragsters out there also. I wanted to build my son on junior dragster, but then they closed the track. And I was really pissed. I'm being honest, pissed. I can't understand why we can't, out of this whole island, why we got to go to the other islands to get a racetrack. I personally think Molokai can get one racetrack before us. That's how I honestly feel. That's how I honestly feel.
At least Lanai could.
I go Lanai twice a year. They don't have enough room, brother.
But the point is this. I used to live at the racetrack. Every Saturday, you'll find me at the racetrack. Every Saturday. You know, I race one guy. I blow the motor. You know, hey, what the hell? Monday, we said building the engine again. But I look this side, these are all younger guys. But we all have one bond, that we all want a racetrack here. We all want a racetrack. A lot of people in the 80s, they were just weekend warriors. Like I think was Leonard Barboza, the Barbozas. Now they open up their own mechanic shops. A lot of people used to work do part-time mechanics, became mechanics. They're great mechanics today. And then the bonding, you can't get that with family. You take the family out there, you go eat the Simon at the snack bar and the hamburger and all that, and you hear the guy at the tower and all this. But the bonding is unbelievable. Unfortunately, my son drives a Honda. I used to run a 69 Camaro with a 350 motor, turnarounds. I used to work at a gas station making $2.75 an hour. Every paycheck I used to go runs right over here in Kalihi. I used to buy the latest and greatest things at that time. And we used to cruise at First City Industrial. We used to go Macaulay Zippies. We used to go Sandy Beach, all this. But even though my son drives a Honda, even though we still got that bond that he wants. That's ridiculous. The recon here is ridiculous from back in the 50s. It's ridiculous. I personally went out, to be honest with you, I bought a truck, a Chevy truck. I lifted it, put the fender flares, put the tires underneath and everything, and they said my truck is too high. So now, as we speak, I got a truck in my garage. Can't go nowhere. Can't go nowhere. We used to go around the island. You know, my kids go, hey, Dad, can we go around the island, go eat shrimp on Giovanni's shrimp truck? We jump all in the truck, we put the cooler, put the kids all in the back. One stack of kids all in the back going. Other than that, I think this recon is really ridiculous. Now, they don't have appointments. Now it's first come, first serve. First come, first serve. So, like everybody, it's crazy. It's ridiculous, the recon guys over here.
Can you let the recon?
Yep.
Well, they don't even know the rules.
A couple things. Let me go first to what you were talking about. That's why I'm here to tell you. And I wish I could just tell you, we're going to build it, blah, 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 blah. But I really don't believe, unless you folks think otherwise, that there's support to use state funding at the get-go. I think I can make a convincing argument of why we put the land up. And I can tell you this, I will work day and night to find that private investor.
I got one last question.
Sure.
How come you couldn't do it as mayor?
Because I didn't have the land as mayor to do that, like
So
how
you
I
have the
go.
land now?
I'm sorry?
You have the land now?
It's under the
Will you
state.
get the land now if you're governor?
Yes, because Kalihi law,
Yeah.
okay, Kalihi law is under the state HCDA, you know that
Right,
HCDA
like
too?
the guy with the racetrack, the one that runs the racetrack, I read all about him, that Abercrombie screwed him over.
I'm not Abercrombie. Listen, I tried to tell you folks 4 years ago to elect me. I did. I got criticized for leaving City Hall too early. He just like be governor, the job not finished. One of the reasons why I left, I wanted to save us from Abercrombie. Because I knew he didn't have the experience to do this kind of job. You know, it's like I told you tonight, I'm not a racer. There's no way I'm going to get in until you teach me. What we did with Abercrombie is we took a non-racer and we put him in a racing car, and he's not a racer.
One last question. You ever been in a race car?
I've gone in it, but I've never driven it.
I'll teach you.
I took my family to Vegas. There's no racetrack here. I was even actually willing to pay $300 to go do a quarter-mile pro gas schooling up there. But then my wife said no, so.
I will, you know, when we state again, I think what I'm suggesting tonight, I hope you agree with me, that it's the way to start. Step one, you gotta take one step before we get into this. And I'm the only candidate that's saying he's willing to do this. Now, I know you heard it from Neil before, but as I said, I'm not Neil Abercrombie. Okay, and what I say is what I mean, what I say. And I already said it publicly that I would do it. And I'm looking for another opportunity in these debates to say it. I'm waiting for a sports question to come up, and I was going to throw it out. I was hoping it would come. We had a New Hope Chapel forum today. So I was hoping one of the questions would be, what do you see for jobs in this area? Bingo, I could have put it in that way.
The last I heard, the last track was to be built at San Island. See,
That's state land.
San Island.
Whatever. See, I've also said we need a new stadium. Okay, but I don't want to build it with taxpayers' dollars. I want to find a partner to do that. And let me tell you my idea. Right? National Football League, NBA, where are they all going? Internationally. Where are they going? They're going to Asia. They're all going to Asia. Hawaii attracts a lot of Asian businesses. So that's my idea of building a new stadium. I don't want to use taxpayers' dollars. I want to find someone, maybe give them naming rights. Okay, they can put their name to call it.
Do you have those kind of contacts at this point?
Oh, I have contacts. I have contacts. What I do right now is I'm a private consultant in the Pacific Asian region. Okay, for a long time, people said the enticement is the land. We're putting the land on the table. So if we put the land, an investor will go, wow, no. I mean, I don't have to pay for the land. No, we put the land up, you build it. You build it, you get the naming rights, what have you, and I don't even want to operate it. Okay? And then I want local businesses involved. If we can do this in a hui, and it's not just a rich, mainland foreign investor, I want to partner them with local folks who have an interest in this, that can be a partner, because that's the only way, to me, it'll make sense. Especially if they're coming from, and I'm going to recommend strongly that they have to partner with local businesses to bring this about.